Let us chant Omkara 3 times. Inhale. Om. 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 Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Harihi Om, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Harihi Om. My humble pranams to all Atma Jyotis, divine light of the self. I welcome all of you to today's session of Bhagavad Gita. We have started our journey to study Bhagavad Gita as per Godardha Deepika by Sri Madhusudana Saraswati. Before we start the text, I thought I'll give a summary of all the chapters. I want to tell you that I'm not a Pandita, I'm not a Jnani, I'm not a Guru. I am just a sadhaka, seeker. I'm conducting these classes as a means for my learning. There may be mistakes in my understanding. I beg your forgiveness. Let me share my screen. We have completed 2 chapters. Today, we will take up chapter 3, which is Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga, chapter 3, Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga means how do you connect to God while doing action. Action is more like a meditative action. The same action what you do, you have to change a slight psychological adjustment. Earlier, the center was I, me, mine. Now you put God in the center and you do everything for God. That is Karma Yoga at a very high level. See, yoga like Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, Kriya Yoga are complementary to each other. Nitya Karma, Veda prescribes many types of karma. There is Kamya Karma. Kamya Karma means you have a desire, you perform a particular ritual, do a yajna or yaga in a particular way, and you will accrue punya, and because of that punya, your desire will be fulfilled. This is Kamya Karma. Veda also says Nishiddha Karma, the karma which you should not perform. The karma which we should not do. Veda says Vidhi Nisheda. Vidhi means what karma we have to do. That is Vidhi. Nisheda means what karma we should not do. That also Veda says. Apart from this, there are Nitya karmas. Veda says Nitya karmas, which are like Sandhya Vandana, Sandhya Vandana, Gayatri Japa, and Agni Hotra. This Nitya karma is not for fulfilling a selfish desire. Nitya karma is for pleasing God. And also the Nitya karma is Pancha Yajna, doing 5 types of Yajna. Deva Yajna, Rishi Yajna, Pitru Yajna, Manushya Yajna, and Bhuta Yajna. What this Pancha Yajna is, I'll explain later. Ashrama means where there is no Shrama, where there is peace. Home should be an ashram, a Gurukul, and a mandir. In Karma Yoga, this chapter, we have 3.1 to 3.7 is a discussion about Jnana Yoga versus Karma Yoga. See, we are not talking about Karma Roga. Bhagavad Gita is not about if a person does negative actions, Bhagavad Gita is not for him. We assume that the person is doing dharmic actions. That's a basic requirement to at least read Bhagavad Gita. If a person is doing Papa Karya, then Bhagavad Gita is not for him. So, what is and Dharma Karya, Dharma Karma, which is fulfilling selfish desires, is allowed by Veda, but Krishna's teaching is beyond that. Krishna says, don't do actions for selfish motives. Do actions for Loka Kalyana, which benefits everyone. That is the central teaching of Bhagavad Gita, Karma Yoga. 3.1 to 3.7 talks about Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga. 3.8 to 3.20 talks about teaching of Karma Yoga. It defines what is Karma Yoga. 3.21 to 3.29 talks about a wise person. What is the role of a wise person? 3.30 to 3.35 is a summary of Karma Yoga. 3.36 to 3.43 talks about the enemy which will stop you from doing Karma Yoga, which is desire, a craving. So this is this chapter's complete summary. So we'll see some slokas. 3.1, Bhagavad Gita 3.1 and 3.2. It starts with Arjuna asking a question to Krishna. Jayasi chet karmanaste mata buddhir janardana tatkim karmani ghore maam niyojayasi keshava. Vyamishreneva vakyena buddhim mohayasiva me tadekam vada nischitya yena shreyo aham apnuyam. See, in chapter 2, Krishna has taught about Jnana Yoga, Sankhya Yoga. Also, he talked about Karma Yoga. So, Arjuna got confused. Should I follow Jnana Yoga or should I follow Karma Yoga? So, what he is asking the question is, oh Krishna, if you think Jnana Yoga is superior to Karma Yoga, In your opinion, if Jnana Yoga is superior to Karma Yoga, why are you asking me to engage in this battle and do Karma Yoga? Because Jnana Yoga leads to moksha. Karma Yoga does not directly leads to moksha. It leads to purification of heart. In your opinion, if you think Karma Yoga is lesser than Jnana Yoga, why are you asking me to follow Karma Yoga in this terrible karma? Your words are confusing to me. This is what Arjuna is saying. Please tell me decisively one path which I can follow. Bhagavad Gita 3.3, third chapter, third shloka, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, Lokesmin Dvividanishta Pura Prokta Maya Naga, Jnana Yogena Sankhyanam Karma Yogena Yogina. So Krishna is saying, in ancient days, I have taught two paths in this world. Jnana Yoga for Sankhya Yogis, Karma Yoga for Karma Yogis, for Yogis. There are two paths. Path of knowledge for Sankhyas, path of action for Karma Yogis. Two paths. 3.4 Bhagavad Gita, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, Na karmanam anarambhan naishkarmyam purushosmate, nacha sanyasana deva siddhim samadhigacchati. What Krishna is saying is, see, Jnana Yoga, path of knowledge means it is fit for sannyasis, those who don't do actions, those who have given up actions, karmas, and what Krishna is saying,
Pueblo, claro. Sí.
by giving up action, by sannyasa, by giving up action, one cannot be, by stopping doing work, one cannot achieve freedom. Just because it is told that Sankhya Yoga, Jnana is higher than Karma Yoga, it doesn't mean that everybody stops doing work and expect moksha. It is not possible. Because just by stopping work, you cannot attain freedom from karma. And your knowledge, wisdom will also be not perfect by just doing sannyasa. If you think I will leave off everything, go to Himalayas, it is not possible. And just by stopping the work, it is not good. So Krishna is against that. 3.5 Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtatya karma krut karyate hyavashaha karma sarvaha prakriti jair gunaihi. What he is saying is, nobody can be without work even for a single minute. Without doing any work, nobody can stay. Because of the gunas, gunas are sattva guna, rajo guna, tamo guna. Prakriti, which is, you can roughly translate as nature, material nature, is made up of three gunas. Sattva guna, rajo guna, tamo guna. Our body, mind, intellect is made up of these three gunas. Sattva guna, rajo guna, tamo guna. A combination. Everybody has a different combination of sattva, rajas, tamo gunas. Sattva guna means you can think of it as good, bad, ugly. Sattva guna is good. Rajo guna is activities. bad, and tamoguna is ignorance, ugly. Our body, mind, intellect is made up of good, bad, and ugly combination. Sometimes sattva is higher in us, sometimes rajoguna is higher, sometimes tamoguna is higher. The proportion changes depending on the food we eat, the temperature we are in, and the external conditions and our reactions. All these determine the sattva, rajas, tamoguna combination. So, because of the sattva, rajas, tamogunas, we are compelled to act. Prakriti, the nature itself will make you act. You don't have to, you cannot stop it. You are forced to act. Bhagavad Gita 3.6 Sri Bhagavan Vacha Karmendriyani Sanyamya Ya Aste Manasa Smaran Indriyardhan Vimudhatma Vidyacharaka Sa Uchyate. If a person takes to sannyasa and stops doing all activities, he shaves his head, wears the saffron robe, and sits at one place silently, without moving his hands and legs. He will sit silently at one place. But his mind will keep on thinking about the objects. Such a person is called hypocrite. Therefore, Shloka number 3.7, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, Yes Swindriyani Manasa Niyamya Rabate Arjuna, Karmendriyai Karma Yogam Asaktaha Sa Vishishyate. So, who opposite to that kind of hypocrite, a person does all the work with hands and legs, completely engages in action, but his mind has no attraction to objects. He has left asaktaha. He has left interest in the objects. Through mind, he has taken sannyasa, but with body, he is acting. Such a person is a great person. So 3.1 to 3.7, Jnana Yoga versus Karma Yoga. What is Jnana Yoga? Atma Jnana, knowledge of self. Atma is akarta. Atma does not do anything. Atma is akarta. You have to understand it like this. You see, there is a fan, there is a bulb. Fan rotates, bulb glows. Without electricity, fan cannot rotate, bulb cannot glow. Is electricity rotating? Is electricity glowing? No. Similarly, because of Atma, which is electricity like, our body is moving and doing so many things. So can we say Atma is doing this? No. Atma is not doing it. It is the power behind the movement of the body. You are Atma, you are not the body. Body appears to do some things, but Atma is akarta, non-doer, just like electricity. Abhokta, non-enjoyer. Who is the enjoyer? Mind is the enjoyer. Atma is the power behind the mind. Atma is ajnata, non-knower. Intellect knows, but Atma is the power behind the intellect. This is called Jnana Yoga. And what is Karma Yoga? A person who cannot understand Jnana Yoga or cannot stay as Jnana Yoga has to do action as a doer. He has a doership, but he has to change it because his goal is moksha. His goal is not for selfish desires. He wants to attain liberation. He has at least some jnana, so he wants to attain liberation. So he converts his action into meditative action. How he will do? He will do these things. With the help of jnana, he will perform actions. Beneficial to self. There are three types of action: sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. What are the sattvic actions? Beneficial to self and beneficial to others, guided by Guru and scriptures, Dharma, God. What is the rajasic actions? Ego-based actions, beneficial to self, don't care about others. What are tamasic actions? Ignorant actions which are harmful to self and harmful to others. These are the three types of actions. Jnana is clarity of intellect. Karma is what you do with the body for purity of heart. Jnana yoga and karma yoga are complementary. Jnana yoga should guide the karma yoga. Being peaceful is jnana. I want to share that peace with others is karma yoga. Jnana yoga is peace in rest. Karma yoga is peace in action. What you have to avoid? You have to avoid action born out of desire, ignorance, selfishness, which will bind you. You have to choose actions guided by jnana, selfless service, purity, which will liberate you. Chapter 3, 3.8 to 3.20 is the teaching of Karma Yoga. 3.9 Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Yajnardhat karmano lokoyam karma bandhanaha tadardham karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. This is the secret of Karma Yoga. Whatever work you do as a yajna will liberate you. Whatever work you do other than yajna will bind you to the world. Whatever action you do it for God. I request you to please be unmute. This shloka explains the Karma Yoga beautifully. It uses the word yajna. Yajna means Vishnu. Vishnu is not a Mr. Vishnu. Yajna means it is not Mr. Vishnu with four hands, Shankha Chakra Gada, not that Vishnu. Yajna means any selfless action you do that is beneficial to the totality is called yajna. The totality is called Vishnu. The total universe is called Virat Purusha. It's called Brahmanda. And the individual body is called Pindanda. What is there in Brahmanda, the five elements, is there in Pindanda also. So, we live by taking from Brahmanda. Our food comes from Prakriti, nature. So in one way, we are taking from totality. So whenever you give back to the totality, actions which help beneficial for all, it is called yajna. Your attitude should be not me, thou, thou my Lord, not mine, but yours. You have to give. The giving is called yajna. Whatever action you do as a means of selfless service is called yajna. When you do your actions as a service, it purifies you. It makes you peaceful. When you do actions for your own self, for this limited body-mind complex, it leads to agitation and discord. Therefore, Krishna is saying, do your actions keeping in mind Ishvara. Do actions to please God. What is God? God, one form you can see is the wide world. Every being is a representation of God. So serve others. Do seva as if you are serving Sri Hari. That is a sure way of serving Sri Hari. If you live like that, your heart will become pure. It will become happy, joyous. This is the secret of Karma Yoga. And you perform your duties as to please God. If you are a married person, perform all your duties as if it is given by God. Those duties are given by God. Think that you are an employee in God's court. Who are you working for? Are you working for your boss or are you working for God? This is the secret of Karma Yoga. Don't be attached to the fruits of the action. Because fruits of the actions are given by God. It's a prasada. Whatever God gives, take it. If God gives difficulties, take it with happiness. God gives riches, take it as prasada. That is the attitude. Shloka number 3.13. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Yajnashishtashinah santo muchyante sarvakilvishaihi. Bhunjate te tvagam papa ye pachantyatma karana. Once you do yajna, a selfless service, the same action you do as a yajna, as a selfless service, you will still get your salary. That is yajna. That is the food that is left over after yajna. You eat that remnant of the yajna. That means you take that salary which is earned because of your work as an offering to the totality that purifies you, that removes your sins. Others who cook for only for themselves, they are eating sin. This is what Krishna says. If you are selfish, you are living for yourself. I, me, mine. This is my limited family, limited this thing. I work for this. They are eating sin. 3.14 Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Annad bhavanti bhutani parjanyad anna sambhava. Yajnat bhavati parjanyo yajna karma samudbhava. This has to be read with 15 also. All the beings are born out of food. Food comes from rain. Rain comes from yajna. Because if there is a selfless activities in the world, then only proper rains will come. And yajna is born out of proper prescribed duties. If people are doing proper prescribed duties, out of the karma, yajna happens. We'll see other sloka, 15. Karma brahmodbhavam vitti, brahma akshara samudbhavam. Tasmat sarvagatam brahma, nityam yajna pratishtitam. Now, this karma is coming out of Veda. Veda tells what is to be done and what not to do. And Veda is coming from Aksharam, which is Supreme Being, God. Therefore, God, Vishnu, is present in all yajnas, in all selfless service. When you do a selfless service, it is Vishnu. This is the shloka. (3.16) Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Evam pravartitam chakram nanuvartayatiha yah aghayurindriyaramo mogam partha sa jivati. Those who do not accept their responsibilities in the cycle of yajna established by the Vedas are sinful. They live only for the delight of their senses. Indeed, their lives are in vain. What Krishna is saying is, the vision of the rishis is such that every person has to work for the welfare of the totality. That is the vision of Vedas. Those who don't subscribe to this vision, they will live for only for themselves. They are living in sin. (3.17) Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Yastvatmaratireva syad atmatruptascha manavaha atmanyeva cha santushta stasya karyam na vidyate. But those sannyasis, the monks who have renunciates, who have left all, and they are enjoying their own self, Atmarati and Atmatrupta. For them, there is no karma. There is no duty. Shloka number 18, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Naiva tasya krutenardo na kruteneha kaschana na chasya sarvabhuteshu kaschid ardha vyapashraya. Such jnanis, here is making a distinction between karma yogis and jnanis. Jnanis, there is no karma. Such self-realized soul, they have nothing to gain or lose either by doing karma or renouncing karma. They don't have any need to depend on any other being or to fulfill their self-interest because they don't have desires. Such is the jnani. 3.19 Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Tasmad asaktaha satatam karyam karma samachara asakto hyacharan karma paramapnoti purusha. God said, therefore, give up the attachment to the results of the fruits. Perform actions as a matter of duty because by working without being attached to the fruits, one attains the supreme. 3.20 Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Karmanaiva hi samsiddhim astita janakadaya loka sangrahamevapi sampashyan kartumarhasi. There was a king called Janaka. He was a enlightened king. He performed all the duties of an emperor. At the same time, he was a jnani. He performed all the duties. He looked after the kingdom in a dharmic way for loka sangraha, means loka kalyana, for the welfare of the world. Therefore, one should perform their duties for the welfare of the world. Therefore, Krishna is saying, you should also, O Arjuna, perform your duty to set an example for the good of the world. So, 3.8 to 3.20, teaching of Karma Yoga. Life is centered usually for people around I, me, mine. This is my family. This is my relative. This is my property. To protect this, I will work. This is a standard way of operation. When your parent or a friend gives you a gift, you become very happy. But God gave you invaluable gift of body, mind, intellect, indriyas, eyes, sun, moon, earth, water. He has given innumerable gifts to you. So you should be grateful to God. In this body, everything is functioning because of God's grace. Work is worship. Ishvara, Lord, has given us an opportunity to learn and learn, to learn and evolve. Life is not a punishment. It's a school. It's a university. Universe is a university where we learn karmic lessons. Yajna is sattvic and dharmic action that is beneficial to self and others. Karma Yoga is not optional. It is for everyone. If you are not a karma yogi, if you are living to fulfill your own selfish life, you will become a karma rogi. What is a karma rogi? We have studied about karma rogi. All the negative qualities will be there in the mind. Anger, greed, jealousy, pride, lust, all this will be in the mind. That is a karma rogi. Karma yoga means leading a dharmic life. The benefits of karma yoga is chitta shuddhi, purity of heart. Selfishness or ego slowly dissolves. From doer, you will become non-doer. You will understand that Atma is non-doer, akarta. From enjoyer, bhokta, you will become abhokta. Atma is abhokta, non-enjoyer. Similarly, from jnata to ajnata. You will treat success and failure alike. A doctor who is doing an operation will forget himself. He is so focused. That is karma yoga. But the same doctor, if he has to operate on his own mother, his hands will shake. That is karma roga. What is the difference? Think about it. Karma Yoga is peace in action. Meditative action, living in present moment. Total acceptance of life as it comes. Tranquility, bliss. Examples of Karma Yogi is Hanuman and Arjuna. Karma Yoga is not mechanical action. It's a meditative action. Characteristics of Karma Yoga are Samatva Buddhi. Samatva Buddhi means taking success and failure as alike. Swadharma Buddhi. Work towards benefit of self and others based on your capabilities and nature. Samarpana Buddhi. Nothing belongs to me. I dedicate everything to God. You samarpana to God. Do as a yajna. Asanga Buddhi. Non-attachment to objects, people, situations, and events. Prasada Buddhi. Whatever happens to me in life, I take it as a prasada from God. I do not reject anything. May God give me whatever He desires. I will take it as a prasada. This is Karma Yoga. 3.21 to 3.29. Role of a Jnani, wise person. 3.21. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Yadyadacharit shreshas tapta devetaro janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokastat anuvartate. Whatever actions great persons perform, common people follow. Whatever standards they set, all the world pursues. 3.22 Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Name pardasti kartavyam trishulokeshu kinchana nanavaptam avaptavyam vartayevacha karmani. So Krishna is saying, I do not have any duty in this world. There is no duty for me in three worlds. However, I do all the duties. I am engaged in all the prescribed duties. I don't have anything to gain or lose, but I perform all the duties. Why? Ignorant people perform their duties with attachment to the results. Therefore, the wise should work without attachment for the sake of leading the people on the right path and for the welfare of the world. This is why Krishna is also acting. Wise should not create discord in the intellects of ignorant people who are attached to fruitive actions. They should not say, stop doing kamya karma. You should not say that. You should never tell anybody that stop doing selfish actions. Let them do, but let them follow the Vedic path. Slowly, they will also learn. The wise people should inspire the ignorant people to be on the dharmic path and come out of it and slowly adopt karma yoga and then jnana yoga. Shri Bhagavan Vacha 3.27. Prakrutehe kriyamānāni gunaih karmāni sarvashah ahankara vimūdatma karta ahamiti manyate. The Prakriti, the material nature which is of three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamo, does all the actions. You are not doing anything actually. The nature does everything. But in ignorance, you think you are the doer. You are doing the action. That is what this shloka is saying. Everything gets done by the nature. Our heart beats, our mind works, our eyes see, everything biological functions, natural functions. But we think that I am seeing, I am thinking, I am feeling. This is ignorance. Tattvavittu mahabaho gunakarma vibhavayoho. Guna guneshu vartanta iti matva na sajjate. Tattvavittu means jnani. Those who know the truth, they know that gunas are moving in gunas. The sattva rajas tamo gunas in the shape of senses, mind, and others are moving in among the gunas in the shape of objects of perception. These senses and the objects in the world both are made up of prakriti only, nature only. Nature is seeing the nature, nature is doing in the nature. You are not doing anything at all. This a jnani knows. 3.21 to 3.29 role of jnani. Jnani sees oneness. I am not different from Ishvara. Jnani is not lazy. Jnani is always engaged in Loka Kalyana, the welfare of the world. Jnani knows that he or she is akarta, non-doer. But through the body of Jnani, lot of work for the welfare of the world will get done without feeling of doership. Paropakarardham idam shariram. This body is given to us so that we can serve others, we can help others. Shri Krishna, Janaka, Yajnavalkya, Shankaracharya, these are the examples who are jnanis, who have tirelessly worked out of their compassion for the welfare of the world. Jnani does not need anything, but works tireless for Jagat Hitayecha, for the welfare of the world, out of compassion. Shloka number 3.30 to 3.35. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Mai sarvani karmani sanyasya adhyatma chetasa nirashir nirmamo bhutva yudyasva vigatajvara. Perform all works as an offering to Krishna. Constantly meditate on Krishna. Krishna here does not mean Devaki Sutta. Krishna means your own self, Atma. Atma is Brahma, Supreme Being. Your own consciousness, awareness is Krishna. Do all works as an offering to Atma or Krishna. Constantly meditate on Krishna. Free from desire and selfishness. And then fight. This is the advice of Krishna to Arjuna. 3.35 Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Shreyan Swadharmo Vigunaha Paradharmat Swanushtita Swadharme Nidhanam Shreyaha Paradharmo Bhayavaha. It is better to perform one's natural prescribed duty, though tinged with faults, than to perform another's prescribed duty, though perfectly. In fact, it is preferable to die in the discharge of one's duty than to follow the path of another, which is fraught with danger. So, Arjuna was thinking that he will take sannyasa. Arjuna is a warrior. He is a kshatriya. He has to do his dharma. That is what Krishna is saying. Your dharma is to fight. A sannyasi's dharma is to meditate. You cannot stop fighting and go and do meditation. 3.30 to 3.35 summary. Time takes away everything that you hold on. properties, relationships, eyesight, hearing, body, mind, intellect, all these will go away. Karma Yogi and Jnana Yogi will focus on Atmano Mokshardham Jagathitaya cha and hold on to the eternal self. An ignorant fool will think about properties, relationships, eyesight, hearing, body, mind, intellect, etc., which will be taken away from you anyway. So better use this instrument for the welfare of the world and for uplifting yourself spiritually. Finding out what is Atma Jnana, you should spend your time, and you should spend your time to help others. Example is, there is a temple. Somebody is building a temple. There are 3 stone cutters. Somebody asked one stone cutter, "What are you doing?" He says, "Can't you see I am working in hot sun?" He asked another stone cutter. He says, "I am doing this for salary." Somebody asked another stone cutter, "What are you doing?" He says, "I am doing this as a worship and offering to God. I am preparing the idol so that people can do worship." This is Karma Yoga. Others are Karma Rogis. All of them work equal hours, all of them get paid. But the one who does this as a worship will be joyous. He is a Karma Yogi. Shloka number 3.36 to 3.43, Krishna talks about the enemy in this path. What is the enemy? He is going to say. Arjuna Vacha. Adakena prayuktoyam papam charati purushaha anichinna vivashneya baladiva niyojitaha. Oh Krishna, then why does a person commit sinful acts? Even though he doesn't want to, he commits sinful acts as if he is forced by something. Why does a person does sinful acts, oh Krishna? Shri Bhagavan Vacha 3.37. Kama yesha krodha yesha rajoguna samudbhava mahashano mahapapma vidyena meha vairinam. This is the enemy. Kama yesha krodha yesha. Desire and anger are your enemies. This is the enemies. Mahashano mahapapma. This is all devouring enemy. Three point three eight Shri Bhagavan Vacha Dhumena priyate vahinir yada darsho malena cha yadolbena vruto garbhastada tenedam avrutam. 3 examples are given how this desire and anger will cover you. The desire and anger are born out of Rajoguna, Rajasic Guna. Smoke covers fire. Mirror is masked by dust. Embryo in the stomach is covered by the amniotic fluid. Similarly, one's knowledge gets shrouded by desire. These 3 examples are for 3 gunas. Fire by smoke is for Sattva Guna. Mirror by dust is for Rajoguna. And embryo by womb is by Tamoguna. 3.42 Shri Bhagavan Vacha Indriyani paranyahur indriyebhya param manah manasastu parabuddhiryo buddhehe paratastu saha. Senses are superior to gross body. And superior to the senses is the mind. Beyond the mind is the intellect. And even beyond the intellect is the Atma, Saha, Atma. Therefore, Shri Bhagavan Vacha 3.43 Evam buddheha param buddhva samstab vyatmana atmana Jahi Shatru Mahabaho Kamarupam Durasadam. Knowing the Atma to be superior to the material intellect, O mighty armed Arjuna, subdue the lower self, senses, mind, and intellect by the higher self, Atma, and kill this formidable enemy called desire. This is the teaching of Sri Krishna in chapter 3. What is the summary of this? Fire of desire and solution. Why people commit sin? Kama and Krodha, desire and anger. Convert Kama into only those desires which are sattvic and dharmic. You convert like that. You convert Krodha into dharmic actions for Jagat Hitaya. Love for objects in the world is Kama. Love for God and for nobler ideals is bhakti, devotion. Kama is like a burning fire. The more you fulfill the desires, the more it will grow. As you put ghee into fire, fire will burn even brighter. Similarly, the more you fulfill the desires, the more it will glow. Body is lower than senses. Senses is lower than mind. Mind is lower than intellect. Intellect is lower than Atma. Therefore, using Atma, you subdue intellect, mind, senses, and body. Naham karta harikarta tat puja karma cha akhilam tat prasadena anyata. I am not the doer. Hari is the doer. Whatever actions this body does is a puja to Hari. Whatever result that comes is the prasada from Hari. This is the attitude. From Ajnani, who thinks I am an ego, body, mind, intellect, to a yogi who works for the welfare of the others, to a Jnani, who will be Loka Kalyana, he will be doing. You have to move. A Ajnani will take birth again to fulfill, experience the karma phala. Yogi is reborn to continue his yoga. Jnani merges with Brahman and attains moksha. With this, we conclude chapter 3 summary. Any observations or questions? How much of Bhagavad Gita have you learned so far? How much did you understand? Okay. If there are no questions, you don't want to talk, it's okay. We'll close for the day. Asatoma sadgamaya, tamasoma jyotirgamaya, mrutyorma amrutam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Hari Om. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.